Hey everyone, I'm your host Laniz and welcome to Soulfull. This is a space that'll help you unfold the tools within you to align with your highest self through shared experience. Because at the end of this journey, unique to oneself, we are all interconnected. We are one. Welcome back to Soulfull, everybody. This is episode 10. And I had no idea that I would make it to an episode 10, but here I am today, and I am very excited to do this episode with you. So, I recently went to my very first music festival. It's called Smoke and Grooves, and it was in Los Angeles in their national park. Yes, they have a park there, national park. Lots of hills, beautiful view of the city, and amazing artists. It was pretty exciting. It was a great experience. I'd never been to a music festival before, didn't know what to expect. Lots of people. Very blessed to experience VIP, so I'm glad that I did have that option where there was some, space for me, because me and energy in a crowded space, it gets a little chaotic in my mind, but it was a great time. Anyway, so I recorded so many cool videos of, live performances and songs and stuff. So one afternoon I was hanging out in the car with my friends who wasn't at the festival, and I was sharing, of course, all the different videos and songs, and, I was just kind of showing them like, oh, look, this is Nas. And it was New York State of Mind that he was performing in this video that I was showing him. And so we're watching the video, and like, no joke, like 5 seconds later, the next song in his playlist or whatever comes on, and it's Nas, New York State of Mind. Has that ever happened to you? Like, what a coincidence, right? Like, how crazy is that? My mind was blown. His mind was blown. We were both like looking at each other like, what is happening? It's almost like, we spoke it into existence. Like the shuffle gods heard the song and they're like, I'm going to show you something right now. So, yeah, it was almost like a magic trick, right? I used to love magic when I was a kid. There was this guy, Chris Angel, on TV. I don't even remember what channel it was, but he did magic. He's got a show now out in Vegas. He was amazing. He was super cool. All of his tricks. It's like, how does he do that? How does he split a woman's body in half and have them across the room? Like, how does it just happen? He wasn't a traditional magician. He doesn't just say abracadabra, but like traditionally, that's what a magician would say, correct? Abracadabra, and then pulls the rabbit out of the hat or whatnot. So what is abracadabra anyway, right? Where am I going with this? I am fascinated with words at the moment. I have this theory that words are magic. Okay? That's how I got into this topic of abracadabra. What is the root meaning of it? If you look it up in the dictionary, in a classic dictionary, it'll tell you, like, it's just a word that a magician uses when they're performing a magic trick. That's very service. So, of course, I, dove into the root meaning of the word and such. So, abracadabra is actually an Aramaic word. An Aramaic Semitic language. It's the equivalent to like Hebrew. It's super ancient and it goes so far back. Essentially, it means what I speak, I will create. Abracadabra means what I speak, I will create. How crazy is that? So, back to how words are magic. think about all of the words that maybe we've collectively inherited consciously or subconsciously as we've grown into adults. What kind of language were we around when we were kids? How were we spoken to? What kind of words were being spoken to us? How are we being described? What are we holding on to, maybe? As a mom, it's like I'm thinking to my, most frustrated times where I'll tell my daughter, like, stop being a brat, go in your room, stop being lame. But words are so powerful, we kind of have to be careful how we use them, how we even receive them, what kind of words we want around us all the time. Because words essentially are everywhere, right? It's in our TV shows, words are in our music, our lyrics. It's how we express ourselves. And it creates our world. What I speak, I will create. It's crazy. It's much deeper than what we allow ourselves to acknowledge about words. There's so many stories that I've heard about people, who grew up being mistreated, not just in, physical way, but even emotionally with words. And that kind of conditioning can really confuse somebody into adulthood and create like a false identity, if you will, or a sense of limitation with how far a person might choose to elevate themselves. What a person thinks or believes that they can achieve. Okay? So, let's dive into the how words are magic. Well, being that they're everywhere, let's start with lyrics. I did a really great episode with an artist. His name is McLeod. And in that episode, I asked him, what his biggest inspiration was for his songs and his lyrics. And I'm sure, like so many other artists, he described his inspiration, the biggest inspiration, as being just the pain that he experiences from his life, from his experiences. It's the pain that helped drive him into forming words and music and putting it together and making this art for fans and people to connect with. And he also brought up a great topic of how, like, everybody can be, like, out at a party or a club, like, drinking, having a good time, but listening to a song where, like, the artist is actually in pain, like, he's hurting, but everyone's vibing to it, everyone's chilling there together, having a good time. But it's like, he literally said, like, you get what's happening, right? It's so true. I remember this one time back in my day, like, I'm so old, but I was out in PB with some friends and like a cousin of mine a long time ago. And this is when Big Sean was like huge. And he had just come out with that song, I Don't Fuck With You. And that song came on. And of course, everyone had drinks in them. And everybody together was just like scream singing this song, because everyone obviously had been hurt and felt it, Everyone in the club really felt what was going on. It was great. I felt so alive because I felt as if I was being heard, as if I was being seen. I resonated with those words. I've worked a lot this past year on myself and healing myself and my spiritual journey. And it's interesting because I can say that I have really focused my energy much more on the positive side even in lyrics and music that I choose to listen to. I'll listen to old playlists and I'm just like, damn, I was really sad. Like all the time I was sad. Because the songs were so freaking sad. Like now I'll listen to like more peppy things. And I remember when I was working on myself, like deeply trying to get through all the trauma and accept and acknowledge it all, I found this one great artist. His name is Laniz. Very spiritual dude. And I swear, like some of those songs just had me crying in tears. It wasn't like so much of like just a painful, like sitting with the sadness type of song, though. They're very purifying, like cleansing almost. I really felt the lyrics in a sense that I was cleansing myself and letting go of, maybe some relationships that I held on to too long, or mindsets, things like that. And, it wasn't just songs like that, that I was able to kind of clear out. He's also got some very motivating lyrics in some of his words or some of his songs. And he really inspired me, to connect deeper with my spiritual path and elevating myself and really how I view myself because of this artist. Laniz is his name. Yes, check him out. He's great. Very, very positive and uplifting. And if you're on that spiritual journey, he's amazing. So check him out. Very positive dude. And if you are in that transitional phase right now of like in between leaving the low vibration and heading towards like more elevation, start with Antidepressant. That's the name of the song. Let's see. Shows. Words in shows. So I've actually been sitting back a lot lately and thinking about like what the universe is going to deliver to me. I just had a sense of like relaxation. I've never really felt that before. I kind of grew up in a way where like I just always felt like I should be doing something, like I shouldn't just sit. So recently I've been doing that for myself. I think that's a big part of leveling up, and even just being successful is knowing when to take those breaks and just kind of like sitting back and letting the knowledge and the information kind of come to you, because again, it's always around us, right? It's a matter of observation. So I've been doing that and watching some shows, and you got to check it out. It's called See on Apple TV. It's pretty twisted, but there is this one villain. She happens to be the queen, and like everyone's blind there except, her nephew who has vision, and of course she wants a kid with vision. So she like literally sleeps with her nephew, and I just was disgusted, and I already like can't stand this woman. And I was with my friend, and I'm like, this is just disgusting. Like, it makes me sick that, like, this is probably happening somewhere in the world right now, like, in real life, And he looked at me and he said, you can basically say anything, and it's happening in the world right now. And that really struck me. Like, I really sat with that information that he said. Like, I just thought to myself, you can say anything, and it's probably happening somewhere in the world right now. And then I thought to myself, like, what would I love to be happening for myself and for my life right now? So then I got into, diving into what I want. And it's so funny because just the other day I was listening to Jay Shetty's podcast. Is an episode with Big Sean. And Big Sean was actually emphasizing the word want, and how wanting kind of comes already from a sense of lack, like just using the word want. And it's so true. I couldn't agree more. Like, he kind of took the words out of my mouth. I'm like, yes. Listening to him, like, yes, I feel that. But instead of using the word want, shifting the language a little bit to desire, like I desire this, or I intend to do this or to get this, so that I can have this for my life. There's just more of a connection between action and like the word. It's so much stronger than just wanting. It's like I desire this, as in I'm gonna make something happen to get this, or I intend. Lots of action behind the word intend. I intend to do this today. And it just kind of like embeds you in a different way. Kind of makes you like want to go out and get it, right? So, yeah, words are powerful. So powerful. What would I love to be happening to me right now? I would love to be doing this right now, and here I am. I'm doing it. I'm making it happen. Certain life events too can like inhibit, the things that you want for your life, but we'll get there. So we also have words in our subconscious thoughts. Subconscious thoughts. So let's think about this. Do you ever talk to yourself out loud? I know I do. I just kind of I have really bad ADD, so it helps me, I think, get things done in talking to myself. But do you talk to yourself? And if you're thinking no, you're wrong. The answer is yes. We all talk to ourselves, whether we're speaking out loud or just keeping it in our minds. We're always judging ourselves in a way, if you will. We are always our own biggest critic, right? So it's so important to be mindful of the way that we're talking to ourselves. And this kind of goes back to like how we were spoken to as children. And it's unfortunate, but very common. Children tend to get talked down to unintentionally, I'm sure, hopefully for most people, but it kind of, again, limits us in a sense as we get older of how we speak to ourselves. So sometimes there's like some reprogramming or some rewiring in how we should be more aware of the way we talk to ourselves. Okay, so let's say like you mess up in a day. Some of us are just going to hold on to it and be so upset and like basically dwell on it and judge ourselves and be critical. And it's like, even just those words, it's like, no, we don't need any of that. We don't need that. It's like, keep going and focus on maybe the mantra, practice makes perfect. That's it. Maybe that's all you have to say to yourself, and practice your mindfulness and awareness with yourself. If you saw yourself in like a third person, how would you describe yourself to someone? So our subconscious thoughts. The universe speaks to us in frequency and energies. Okay, the universe doesn't use words or language. It uses frequency and energy. So it's very important to be mindful of those words and energies that we accept and welcome into our circle. Maybe be mindful. Is there somebody who like in your life who like maybe just makes you feel bad? Like every time you talk to them, you just leave feeling a little bit lower about yourself. Maybe look back at those text messages or like play back conversation and think about like key words, that maybe they speak to you, or maybe they're speaking about themselves. Because how we speak to others is kind of the energy that we're passing down, whether you're talking about yourself or you're talking to that person directly. Just be mindful of like what you're accepting around you, and filter those out, because there's nobody who matters more in this world than yourself, right? So the universe can't speak to us in words, but it will find us in our subconscious thoughts. Now, what I'm speaking specifically about is in dreams, as we already know. I'll have to do an episode just for dream interpretations, but for myself, every once in a while, I'll have like a special dream, a vision, We have a million different dreams, like crazy dreams that don't make sense. Sometimes because we eat late or something, but sometimes we have like really vivid dreams that just hit you different, you know? And when that happens, as soon as I wake up, I'll like message my girlfriend. I'll be like, this is my dream, detail, like a journal. Like I'll write it all out before I forget it, because it's easy to do that, right? And, we'll dive so deep into like our emotions, how we're feeling, what's been going on around us, or maybe what's going on with other people that maybe we could have a soul tie with, some kind of connection. We depict and break down like the meanings of certain like animals, entities in our dreams, like different things. And, just with a little bit of interpretation and some research and communication with people that you trust will help you kind of break down like what the mind is trying to tell you, what the universe is trying to send to you, so that you can elevate, Words are magic. What does magic do? Makes miracles. Things that the eye can't comprehend. So if you feel like there's things in your life that you would love to have, but you're just telling yourself that you can't for whatever reason, get those words out of your mind. You can. It's possible. I'm capable. I'm working towards this. I love this. I love what I'm doing. Who are you? How would you identify yourself? The old me would probably be like, well, I have ADD, can't focus on anything. I am a domestic violence survivor. I probably would have said victim back then. Who am I today? I'm a mother. I'm strong. I'm independent. I have passions. I love helping other people. I'm a podcaster. Most importantly, I'm a healer. I love this. I love what I'm doing. I hope that I'm like helping somebody right now. That's all that I want to do. And I went through a lot of shit to get here. A lot of life experiences unique to myself. But I didn't let those things define me, define who I am. I'm creating my own definition for who I am and what I'm becoming, because I don't want to even just be this person right now in 6 months, a year, 3 years. I want to be somebody else. I want to be even higher than where I'm at right now. Even though I know that I appreciate and I'm grateful for where I'm at and what I have, I know that this isn't it for me. I'm going to keep going. See that language? Nobody's telling me it's going to be easy. Even if it is a miracle, I'm sure it's still going to take work. But I'm willing to do that because I'm going to make it fun. I'm going to have fun in my life. Laniz says in the song, have fun and the funds will come. I couldn't agree more with that. I've never heard anything like that. And it's crazy how just those words together could just create such a narrative shift of the mind. If there's people like ensuing wrong to you, they are prisoners of their own mind. And you are just the witness to themselves being trapped in their own negative words. You have all the freedom that you allow yourself to. Okay? You don't have to be around people who are just negative words all the time, never happy. Well, that's why they probably always have bad things to say. There's a note here that I put. Envision specific words for your life. Envision specific words for your life. This is part of like the transformation period, while you're like healing and working through things. You've already accepted and acknowledged what you've been through and such, but now we're going to try to push forward in life. So be very specific with your words and what you want to envision for your life in the future, but envision it now in the present, because that's all that is real anyway. It's this present moment. Envision that. Use words, write it down. I did tons of writing at one point. Tons of it. I still have like so many notes in my phone now. Like I don't always have my journal on me, so I'm just like tick, 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 tick. Be very specific, but surrender to the gifts that life provides to you. The gifts that the universe will give you is not always going to be the specific things you're envisioning. And that's okay. Don't bypass certain blessings just because it's not exactly what you wished for. Sometimes that's just the starting point to get to what exactly you're envisioning. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Surrender. How do I surrender? That is an easier word to say than it is to do. Surrender. I used to be a control freak. And it's still like, it's a work. I am always a work in progress, always. But that's something I do have to be mindful of, is just letting go of so much control. There's so many things in this life that I would love to control and have stay the same, but that's not how life works. So surrendering consists of just opening and freeing yourself, like energetically. You just have to be okay with letting things happen. Most of the time when you let go of the control, things kind of settle around you. You know, you don't feel so tense inside. The stress kind of subsides. And like, honestly, it's the fear of the unknown, I think, that instills that in you. But in me specifically. But yeah, surrendering to the universal gifts rather than expecting the specific envision that you have is so important. Honestly, like, there could be a blessing right in front of you right now and you might not even know because you're just not really surrendering, opening yourself up to possibility. And I can say, since I've done that, I have had so many blessings from the start of this year. Like, I've cleared my path, and it's not always easy. The detachment of certain energies and people can be really hard, but once you do that, once you really focus on what is meant for you and just let go of what doesn't belong there, so many blessings open up to you and you just feel more free. Like, it's so crazy because I can say that like so much has changed, but also so much hasn't. Like, it's really just this. This is what has changed exponentially. So everything around me feels different. It feels so much lighter, my life. And you know, people who have always been a part of my life for many years now are even more involved in my life because I know, like, those are my people, you know? It's really cool to do that, to open yourself up and just surrender and accept certain energies and people and signs. And so the world works in mysterious ways, right? I have to emphasize this whole topic of words are magic. I have to emphasize that time here is not linear. Okay? Here in this world, obviously, we have a timeline, you know? It's like pretty late right now. But to the universe and, you know, to our angels or God, whatever you believe in, time does not exist. Okay, it's not linear. So let's say, like, in your prayers have so many powerful words, and there's just so much power in prayer, in words. So let's say you pray for so many things, you know. I hope that you pray for the things that you're grateful for. You know, I hope that there's gratitude in your prayers. But there's always things, you know, that we desire, maybe not just for ourselves, but for others. And that is great, I think. I think it's very great to ask in a prayer, ask the universe for your blessings to come in. And sometimes it might feel like, we're asking for a long time and those things just aren't coming in, and maybe you're wondering why, but don't let those words evade you. Okay? Don't let the negative words and the feeling of failure, don't let that energy in. Just keep focusing, keep doing your thing. Okay? Focus on your kids, focus on your partner, focus on your work, focus on your crafts. Look in the mirror and look at how special you are. Admire all of the things that make you different. There's so much power in that. And point them out. What makes you so different than everybody else? That's a superpower. Okay? Say it. Acknowledge it. So you can elevate, even on a bad day. This is the worst day of my life. I hear that from many teenagers. The worst day of my life. I hate my life. No. Okay. Acknowledge that low energy for a second, but hold on to hope too. I'm going to have a better day. Tomorrow it's going to get better. I know it's not always going to be this way. Just keep saying it too. So a lot of times, like for the procrastinators, if you just keep saying it to yourself, you're just going to get so sick and tired of saying it that you're just going to get sick of yourself and be like, okay, I really need to actually do something. Don't be the Debbie Downer and be like, I'm no good, I never do anything. No. Just get up and do it then. If you're sick of hearing yourself say it. Because words are magic. You are capable. Start saying that. What's your excuse? Whatever your excuse is, tell yourself after. But I'm capable. That's an excuse. I am capable. Tomorrow's a new day. I can get that thing done. Better late than never. I say that a lot. I have ADD. I don't like deadlines. I just don't. So yeah, time is not linear. We cannot expect blessings of life to happen in a subsequent order. You just can't expect that. Focus on what you desire. So, about a year ago when I started my healing process too, I was talking to my girlfriend. I don't remember what the topic was about, but there was one question that I still think about that nobody's ever asked me before. And she said, what is one thing that you'd love to hear more? What is something that you don't hear enough? And nobody had ever asked me that before, so I was kind of taken back and I had to really think. Like, I've never thought about anything like that before. And you know what my answer was? I'm proud of you. I just feel like I never really heard it enough growing up. And that is no shade to anybody who's helped raise me in any way. Because, I know, like I have memory of, my loved ones saying it to me, but that could have something more to do with myself or like other words maybe that were used toward me growing up from anybody. I just wish I heard that more. And since that time, I started saying it to myself. I'm proud of you, Laniz. I started saying that to myself and my goodness, it felt really good. It felt really good to talk to myself like that. So what is something that you wish you heard more now, when you were a kid? Think about it. I had to think about it. Maybe you might already know. It could be something as simple as I love you, or you are important, or you are so special. You make life better. I'm really happy that you're here. You've made such an impact in my life. You are loved more than you know. You can do anything. You can have anything that you want. I appreciate you. That's something that I say to any and every person that does some kind of service for me. Like most of the time it's like at a register when I'm just buying something. I will make sure I tell that person, I appreciate you. And I gotta be honest, when I first started doing that, some people would just look at me, like not bypass me like they do, like robots when they're just working. They really looked at me, and there's like a sparkle in their eye. Like they really felt seen, and I was really seeing them for a second. And I just smiled at them. Some women and men will like thank me. Say thank you. Really needed to hear that today. And in turn, that makes me feel so good that I can do that for somebody, that I can make someone feel good. I don't have to go out and spend money to make somebody feel good. That's like temporary happiness. I don't believe that anything tangible can bring someone happiness. I know my home can provide me comfort and shelter. It's kind of a necessity, I guess, but things, this iPad, my ring light, I'm grateful for those things. It's part of my craft. But true happiness, it comes from when I can just pass on love in words to others, to strangers, and see a smile, their face light up a little bit. Energy is contagious. Words can transform that energy. So, how can you speak to yourself? And how can you speak to others more highly? What is one way that you can do that to anyone, especially those that you think need it the most? Usually they're the most grumpy. Grumpy people need love too. I like to think they need more love. Don't smother though. Don't stalk. Let's see. I would like to share one little piece of magic with you that I'm blessed that this kind of just fell into my lap. So, I first started this podcast needing to get out the first episode. That's all that I was focused on, is putting out my story. A very, very special story that I felt needed to be heard by everybody and anyone who felt called to it. And after that, I didn't think people were gonna like it or pay any mind to it. But I received so much positive feedback that I was actually helping other people. That's my passion right there, helping other people. And to hear that feedback, it really fueled me. Even though I was going through my own healing process, I pushed through and I put out 9 more episodes. It's crazy. But, at the beginning, when I was first starting off, my family asked me, what are you going to do with this? long term, and I hadn't even thought about that. And I just said, I think maybe after 10 episodes, like I'll start looking for like a sponsor or something. Just start putting myself out there. Well, I actually joined a contest, I think in January, called Podcash. Very nice man from Twitter, I believe. Rev is his name. Revolution. Shout out. He's got his own podcast too. And, there's this thing within the podcast called Love Letters where you ask somebody to write a letter on their behalf, on behalf of their podcast. So, like, I did it for him, and then I registered my podcast too. I just figured, why not? Why not try? Well, I am on episode 10 today, and I was a winner. Thank you to Racket for this opportunity. I am beyond grateful for this chance. I was given a grant, and I'm making moves. Just a little bit of effort and a little bit of focus and a lot of passion and love. It'll take you a long ways. And I don't know what this is going to be. I don't know what this can turn into. I just know that the possibility is endless. I have no limitation to what I welcome when it comes to my craft and what I love. I welcome everything, any possibilities. As long as I can help others and help people form connections and different synapses in the brain, different connections that we can make to help us get through life. This world isn't easy. But something as simple as dissecting words and how powerful they really can be, it's around us every single day. So important to be mindful of the power behind the words we speak. What was maybe spoken to us, the hurt that the person that hurt you went through. Words are magic. Heal yourself so that you can inspire others to heal. Spread love. Believe in yourself no matter what. Okay? Just have fun living your life, doing what you enjoy. And relax sometimes. It's okay to relax. That's something that I'm definitely accepting more of. As busy as my life can be. Sometimes I'll just lay in bed for an hour just because that's what I can do, Anyway, I have chosen to surround myself with people who offer my love language, which is all of the love languages, but people that can offer me all the tools that I need to support my higher level of self on my own. It's amazing how even just having one different person in your life can make such an impact on who you are and what you surround yourself with and what you view in life. Even just one person, whether that's a really positive person or a very negative person. It's very, very crucial that you only invite positive words coming from supportive people that you can trust. Not people that you love. Love comes later. Focus on the people that you can trust. And trust those words. Because that will help guide you to the circle that you deserve, the success you deserve, the happiness you deserve. That's real success, is your true happiness. can lose all of our money in a second. None of that matters. Money doesn't matter. Love matters. How you speak to yourself. Now I'm just ranting. But words are magic. What are you going to surround yourself with? We share one world. A lot of people here on this planet. So we share this one world together. There's many different versions of what we see here day to day based on the words that we welcome and the words that we use. So my question for you today is, which reality are you living in? In closing, I'll leave you with abracadabra. Peace and love, guys. See you next time. Thank you for being with me today. If you felt this in your heart and your soul and your center, then please subscribe for more soulful messages. And most importantly, be somebody's angel today and share this episode. Until next time, Angelians, peace and love.